we became 100% employee owned.
That's wonderful that you have that available to artists.
One of the things that we did, because we wanted to establish a set of values that felt right to everybody, we also have a collection of tutorials, videos on how to use the decorative products that are in our line.
There's a sense of pride that comes in, for sure, using the products and knowing that your company has such wonderful values to enrich people's lives. Humidity is always a little bit of a challenge.
How are you today, my fine creative friends? This is part 2 of our interview with Dana Rice from Golden Paintworks. And we had such a great time talking to Dana that we broke it up into 2 parts. So let's just jump right in. This is part 2 of our interview. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be in your particular situation. I'm Scott Markowitz from Reinvention Studio Lab. I'm joined here by Shiree Ingram, and we have a very special guest today, Shiree, don't we?
We do. We have Dana Rice with us today. She is the director of Golden Paintworks. She handles their commercial and architectural coatings division of Golden Artist Colors. And a lot of artists use Golden products. I'm very familiar with them. Most people know Golden probably as a manufacturer of fine art materials, particularly fine art acrylics. And so happy and honored to have you join us.
Yes, we were very honored to have you on the show with us.
Oh, thank you very much. And I'm really delighted to be here today as well.
You guys have a very special relationship with your employees. And Shiree and I are very fascinated by this aspect of GPW, that it's employee owned. And we really wanted to go a little bit deeper into that with you, if you don't mind talking about that.
Sure. That's right. We are employee owned. And let me take you back a little bit about that, and I'll talk about how that came about.
Yeah.
Back, as I said earlier, the company started in 1980. One of the things that when the company was started, and it's been true throughout, is that not only do we want to make products for artists, but we also want to be a responsible company that is committed to its employees, people who work here. So with that in mind, back as early as 1987, the company started a profit-sharing pension plan. But the thing that was unique about it was that each employee could choose how they wanted to direct their own investments. And that was great when the company was small, but as it started to grow, it got more and more complicated. The company looked around and said, what other kind of programs are out there that could help the employees have a strong retirement, but might not be quite so hit or miss with investments? And that's when in 2002, that initial investment program transitioned to an employee stock ownership program. So that's what an ESOP is, employee stock ownership. And way back in 2002, that it was a very new concept. And then it transitioned. We were on that program, and in 2010 was the first time that enough shares had been distributed that the employees became the majority owners of the ESOP. And at that time, there were only 4,000 other ESOPs across the whole United States. It was a very new process for way that that employees could be part of a company. And then finally in 21, in the fall, we became 100% employee owned.
Wow.
It's really a retirement plan. So like a pension plan is a retirement plan, an ESOP is also a retirement plan. Because it's employee owned, or employees own the shares of the company. So the shares are not sold on stock exchange or anything like that. It's an enclosed system, but employees do have shares. And then what happens is if the company does well, the employees do well. So as a result, everybody is invested in the success of the company. And once an employee leaves the company, whether they choose to go to a different job or whether they are here and retire, which we have many people that have been here for over 30 years at this point, they will get a compensation based on the value of the shares extra retirement money. That's really what an ESOP is. The employees don't get to vote on things. It's not like a union. It doesn't quite work that way. And there's still a management team that provides the leadership for the company. Because employees do have a stake in the success, it really helps people take it more personally how we do things around here. And I think that's really important, because then it is everybody's responsibility to do a good job, and we're responsible to each other. And we all win in the end if we do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
That's wonderful.
And it goes back to your mission of commitment to the concepts of dedication and sharing, because you're sharing your profits.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. It's an interesting thing. It's sometimes hard for people to understand when they first start, and when you have young people who retirement seems like a really long ways away. But it really does help. And we ended up as a company developing this set of values out of this whole experience. One of the things that we did is we polled all the employees, and this is something like, as an ESOP, we do tend to communicate more from the leadership team to the employees and from employee to employee with each other. There's always room for improvement with communication. I don't think anybody would say that we're like the best at it. But as a company, for example, we share all the financials, where we're spending our money, where we're making money. More details than probably you would expect get shared with each employee every month. And of course, this is private information, but at the same time, you're an employee and you want to know how well we're doing. It's essentially open books, and you can find out and you can see. One of the things that we did, because we wanted to establish a set of values that felt right to everybody and that would guide us. And so collectively, as a whole company, and there's about a little over 200 of us now, it was actually an appreciative inquiry that Mark Golden led. And we talked with all the employees, and we talked with some of our suppliers and artists, and we gathered all this input from all these different people, and we came up with a set of values. So we have 5 value statements that we try to keep in front of us at all time. I'm just going to read them through for you, what they are.
Okay.
We have honor work-life balance. So that's a big one, trying to make sure that people are getting what they need to get to be productive at work, but also in their own personal lives. We want to make sure that people get to the baseball game of their kids, or that if you decide you want to volunteer for the fire department, that you get time off that you can go and do the trainings that you need to do to be part of the community. Work-life balance is one. Pursuing growth and learning. One of the things that we have is we have a program where people can participate in higher education and get some monies towards any additional learnings that they want to have, whether that's a formalized college program or whether it's maybe you just want to take one class in developing your Excel skills or something like that. A lot of different options for that. Acting as stewards for all we care for. And this is one where there's a lot of talk these days about the environment, but that's one thing that's really top of mind for us in a lot of what we do, not just the environment, but making sure that we make the best choices we can make as we develop products or as we work in the factory to be safe for ourselves and for each other. But then also things like we have a fairly extensive wastewater treatment program where when we make the paint and then we have to wash out the equipment from making the paint, all of that wastewater gets captured and put through a series of processing so that any of the residue from the paint gets trapped and can be disposed of properly and not go back into the waste stream or into the ground. So we're very careful about things like that. Then also one of our values is to lead and inspire creativity and innovation. That gets back to the creative side and trying to make those tools for people that can envision all different kinds of new things and the art they create. And then the last one is to build and engage community relationships. And that, again, like we've been talking about, gets back to that relationship piece, which is just so important to us. And whether that's in our local community, whether that's our employee relationships with each other, or with the relationships that we have with artists all over the world, because really we are a global company, and we love to see what people are doing, not just across the United States, but across the world.
It's wonderful. I love the values that the company has. It would be nice if other companies had the same kind of values. And I love the fact that you said that many of the people that are working there too have been there for 30 years. Most of my life I've been self-employed. My parents own their own businesses growing up, but there have been times in my 20s that I worked for other people, and I always had a different mindset when I worked for other people, and that was that I wanted their business to be successful, and I really did view it like my own. But not everybody as an employee feels that way, and so I think the way that your structure is set up with these values, certainly if you have people there for 30 some years, they are invested in the company, and I think that's just so wonderful. And also environmentally, you taking care of things along that line too. What a wonderful company to be a part of.
Yeah, the fact that you show your dedication by pointing out and illustrating exactly what your values are, I think that inspires your employees to create their own dedication. And the fact that people are there for 30 years is certainly, I think, evidence of that.
Your individual values, I could see each one of those being separate a podcast. I think you really have nailed some of the very most important things that all of us need in life.
Yeah, no, and it is really important. And I think having those things, we have those values are posted, and some people have them posted up in their offices. There's some that are in the hallways and things, that North Star to help guide us and say, oh yeah, okay, we have to honor that work-life balance. Let's make sure we're doing a good job at that. I feel very privileged. I've been here 20 years this year, and like with any company, it's not always easy, and there's ups and downs, but boy, it really is a good company. And I feel very lucky to have worked here as long as I have, and I plan to be here probably for another 10 years. It's very unique in the dedication that it has to the employees as well as to the community at large. And just having Mark Golden be part of the company from the beginning, he's passing along all that history and wealth of knowledge, overall direction, as does Barbara Schindler, who's our president and has been our president for a long time. She's an amazing person, and between them, they really have gotten us on a solid track to maintain this trajectory as we go forward.
Well, and congratulations on 20 years. That's exciting. Will there be a big party?
No, there probably is not going to be a party, but I am going to take a vacation. So we get an extra week of vacation time.
Yeah, good for you. I know
that's
anytime
a good choice.
You always seem like you're incredibly busy, so I think a vacation sounds in order. I know you provide for a lot of products for a lot of different artists. What specific artists do you provide for?
As you mentioned earlier, we do have all the fine art lines with the different watercolor and oils and acrylics and more recently pan pastels. So we get to meet a lot of different artists through those different mediums, and then we have our decorative line and our mural and theme line. So we've just worked with so many wonderful artists, and we always see, or when we have the opportunity to see artists that are posting pictures on Instagram or wherever with their studio in the background, and we get to see some golden jars or golden containers in the background. It's just always a thrill for us to see that. So it does show up more publicly sometimes. And for example, I think everybody knows the comedian Jim Carrey from his movies, but he's actually an artist too. This was back in 2017, but he did a documentary called I Need Color. And if you Google that, you can find it out on YouTube. But there's a couple shots in there where it pans his studio, and you can see he's got a rolling cart just loaded with golden jars and tubes of paint. So that's really fun to be able to see those kind of things. More recently, some people might be aware that artist Allie Kavanaugh, who is well recognized in the watercolor world, we just formed a relationship with her, something we really haven't done before, with more specifically with an artist to create a collaborative set that features the colors that she likes. So that's new for us to do something like that, but we're really excited about it because she's just a great artist, and so that's something that is taking a new direction for us. But beyond that, on the paintwork side more specifically, our mural paints, we've had a long relationship with Philadelphia Mural Arts. That's a program down in Philadelphia that every year installs new murals on the sides of buildings down there. We've worked with them a long time, and they actually helped us to develop our mural and theme paints because they were struggling with finding the yellows, oranges, and reds that would hold up to the strong sunlight and exterior conditions. We selected just very specific pigments that would hold up to those kind of environmental extremes, and they have been dialed in over the last 15 years or so to really hold up to be the most light-fast pigments that we can have to use in these exterior settings, as well as to hold up to things like acid rain and wind and sand and all those conditions that can really tear down a mural. So we're excited about that, and we've had the privilege of working with some really wonderful mural artists over the years that do these incredible, like how they even take what you would think of as a smaller canvas and blow it up to be a 4-story building is just incredible. So that's one of the things that we've done. And more recently, those same paints, we've started working with some of the theme parks down in Florida on different projects. And so that's been a lot of fun too, because as you can imagine, having some of our paint used in the background or in the scenic development work of some major projects with companies like Universal and Disney is just kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, we definitely need colors here that can withstand a hurricane.
Withstand a hurricane and
Yeah.
and lots of sun.
Yeah, sun and humidity.
Yeah.
One of the things I'd like to mention is that because we are so lucky to work with so many different great artists, one of the things that we've done on the paintwork side is we developed 2 different blog programs. One of them is we call Behind the Texture, and it features decorative artists, and the other one is newer, but it's called Mural Makers, and it features different mural artists who have used our products. And so it's a great way for us to be able to showcase the work that people are doing and put the spotlight on the different works that people are doing. So that's a great place if you want to see some of the people that we've worked with and what they're doing, is you can head out to our website. And maybe I'll throw it over to you, Shiree, and tell me how you feel about that.
I was super excited, taken off guard, I guess, a little bit. I had posted, I think most of the times when I would do glass beads, I would always mention GPW in it and either hashtag or the link. And then all of a sudden, I think it was you that originally had sent me an email and interested in being part of the Behind the Texture blog. And I just, I felt so privileged, and that was just so amazing to have that write-up. And so I think that was in the second year that I was featured in that one. And so I get to use that all on social media. I think that's also on my website too. And yeah, what a privilege that was. So I thank you guys so much for reaching out on that. That's wonderful. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was great to have you featured. And that's what's so fun about it, is that everybody has their own style. And so just seeing what people are doing with their decorative finishes and also their fine art is such a spectrum of what people can do with the product. So it's fun to see, and we like being able to put a spotlight on people and help them. Hey, if we can help a little ways in doing that, maybe more people will find you, have you come do some work for them. So.
Yes. And I'd like to interject real quick, ladies. That blog is really a fantastic source to get ideas. And in fact, the website itself, if you go to the Golden Paintworks website, you can see there's an inspiration tab, and that's where you can find the blogs, right? So that's a great place to go, where you can see other artists at work and see what they're doing and draw some inspiration from. I think that's a fantastic thing that you guys do for the community. So we definitely thank you for that.
And
Yeah, thank you. And that is part of the idea is again, that's that sharing piece, right? Try to offer those things up and hopefully inspire.
And I think, too, are you still planning on doing also Where Are They Now? An updated, is that in the works as well?
Yeah, that's a new thing that we've started because we have had the Behind the Texture blog now for, I think we're in our third season of that. We started thinking, hey, what are some of these people doing now? One of the things we're starting to look into for this year is to do an update with some of the artists that have been featured in the past and double back and say, see what they're up to, see what projects they've worked on more recently, and do maybe a little bit of a shorter piece because things are always changing. So it's fun to see what new inspiration people have and how they've used products in different ways.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing I'd like to talk to real quickly about, because we're running a little short on time, Dana, but I definitely want to make sure that we have a chance to talk about where artists can go to buy the products from Golden Paintworks and to make sure that they understand that there's support for their needs as well.
Yeah, sure. So from Golden, the fine art products, they are sold worldwide through art stores. So you can get them pretty much anywhere. But the GPW decorative and the mural and theme paints are sold mostly in North America. So those are pretty much a North America only product lines. The decorative products are available in 180 different paint and decorating retailers around the U.S. and in Canada. We have a list of who those retailers are on our website, so you can always find out by going to the website if there's a retailer in your area, and we're growing that list all the time, so be sure to check back. But you can also buy the products off of our website as well, so if there isn't a retailer in your local community, you can get the decorative products and the mural and theme products from our website. We usually ship within 2 business days. We try to do that because we know that a lot of these products are sold for specific jobs, so that's a priority for us. And then the mural and theme paints are available in a few fine art stores. Dick Blick carries the smaller size, the pints of the mural and theme paint.
Right.
Locally here in Naples, Florida, for those artists that are here, American Paint Supply on Shirley. Gene, the owner, has a lot of Golden Paintworks products, which is really nice. And he always has a lot in stock. I also noticed that you also sell some, not a lot, but some things on Amazon.
We do. We do have some products on Amazon. Most of the products sold on Amazon are sold from one of our retail partners.
Okay.
So we don't do a lot of direct sales on Amazon, but many of our retail partners do have products out there, so you can find some out there.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, and real quickly, if you wouldn't mind sharing some of the ways that you help support artists to become more successful, because that's definitely what our podcast is all about, and we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to share the ways that Golden Paintworks is there to support an artist in their business.
Yeah, one of the things that we do, we talked a little bit about the website and the blogs. In that same inspiration pull down on the Paintworks website, we also have a collection of tutorials, videos on how to use the decorative products that are in our line, but in a way that's really clear and easy to understand. So that's one resource that is great for people to learn about our products and how to use them. We also did a program with other decorative artists for a while that we called the Limited Edition Collection Program, and that is on our website. And we had decorative artists create a set of finishes, and then we produced step-by-step instructions on how to recreate those finishes as downloadable PDF files. So that's also on our website as ways to get inspiration and idea starters on how to use different products. Beyond that, we also have all of our technical data sheets and safety data sheets available on the website. The technical data sheets are like a how-to in written form, so good information there. And then I think one of the big things that we also do as a company, and this is for both the fine art side and the decorative side, but we do have a team of people that are all artists. Basically, a big part of their job is to answer the phone and emails from other artists about any questions related to our products. So it's like a helpline, and you can either call us here at Golden Arts Colors, or you can email at help@goldenpaints.com, and they will get back to you. And literally, you can ask any question you want. You can ask a question not related to our products. I'm not sure how well they're going to be able to answer that, but if you have a question about any of the Golden products that we make, whether that's decorative or fine art products, they will try to help you out. So keep that in mind, and they're a great resource.
That is a great resource. And I think a lot of times if you're working on a project and you maybe are working with a new product that you haven't used, you've just only done sample boards, and you run into some kind of issue down here, humidity is always a little bit of a challenge. And I notice when I work in drier areas of the country, the products always act a little bit differently. So I think it's really nice to have that helpline resource that if you run into an issue on the job, that you're able to contact and get the information that you need, that you can make maybe some adjustments and understand the products and what ways to maybe remedy any issues that may arise.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you're after a certain look and you're not really sure what products to use that might get you that look. And that's another way that we can help you. Like, I kind of want to do this, but I don't know what to use. We can provide some input.
That's wonderful that you have that available to artists.
Yeah, so Dana, thank you so much. I don't know how it happened so fast. We're out of time, but we would love to maybe have you back sometime to talk about the future plans that you have for development of products at GPW. I wish we had some time to talk about that now, but I know you have some new products in various forms, acrylics, metallics, all kinds of things that you're developing, and I'm sure that everybody would love to hear more about that. But we're so grateful and honored that you were able to be a guest on the show today, and we thank you so much for your time and for the insight and to discuss your company too, because that's, I think, very good to hear how, as artists, we can support a company that makes great products, but also is doing things to protect the environment, to ensure that their employees are being taken care of. I mean, like, that's important to many artists, that they're supporting companies that are doing things the right way. So
I agree. There's a sense of pride that comes in for sure, using the products and knowing that your company has such wonderful values to enrich people's lives. And so I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate you taking the time to explain so much to us. It's just really been a nice morning to visit with you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Dana. And for everybody out there listening, keep on creating, and we'll catch you next time.